drift away.
Hey yo, what's good everybody? Hope you're having a blessed day. And I know I am, because you want to know what today is? Today is my birthday. That is right, your boy is 22. And you guys are just so thoughtful because you gave me such an amazing gift. During the time that I recorded this, which is actually the 22nd, because you know I don't want to have to do any work on my birthday, but we hit 80,000 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you so much, because I mean, just every single day we're growing and we're getting that much closer to 100K. And so for us hitting 80K, I thought I'd tell you guys exactly why I quit playing football, but I want to tell you guys in more of a personal way. So I'm gonna switch camera angles in 3, 2, 1. All right, yeah, that's better. So before I really get into exactly why I quit football, I want you guys to know that there is a very important message at the end of this video. So every single one of you guys, I don't even care if you're playing football, just in life, there's a very important message at the end of this video. So I might leave a time code to just get straight into that message. But if you guys want to know exactly why I quit football, I'm about to break that down, but it might be a little ranty, but you know, I've been working on my heart about this. So, you know, I don't know how this is going to come out, but let's just get into it. So to get straight into the story, I'm gonna jump straight into my sophomore year of high school, because that's when things really started to not really make sense for me, and I kind of was starting to lose my passion for football. So for those of you guys who don't know, I went to Palm Desert High School, and I'm just gonna say it straight up. Palm Desert's head coach, I'm not gonna call him out by name because I don't need to even do that, but he is one of the worst coaches I have ever had. Actually, no, he is the worst coach I've ever had. During my 4 years at Palm Desert High School, I saw him misuse talent year in and year out. Every single year we had a Division I prospect on our team, and of those 4 years, only one kid actually made it to D1 AA. He was one of those old school coaches where if you didn't do things exactly his way, you got no love on the field. So I kind of started playing tackle football late. I started playing tackle football in my 8th grade year, so 1 year before high school. And so my freshman year, I was kind of like, okay, I didn't really know everything that was going on. So I kind of accepted the fact that I wasn't getting a ton of targets because I was still basically learning how to play tackle football. However, I started every single game my freshman year, so I knew that I was good enough to be playing. And so going into my sophomore year, I was expecting to do big things. You know, I worked hard, showed up to every single practice on time, went to all the workouts, never really fussed about anything, kept my grades good. Like, the coaches really had no reason to ever not like what I was doing on the field or in the classroom. However, a trend started my sophomore year, which was basically a foreshadowing of my next 2 years at that school. So for those of you guys who don't know, I am 6'3", about 210 pounds, but my sophomore year, I was about 6'1", 6'2", 160, 170, somewhere around there. So I was a big wide receiver, especially as a sophomore. And knowing that you'd think a coach would throw the ball to him every once in a while just because of how much taller he is compared to the corner, right? No, I was mainly used as a decoy to get other wide receivers open and to help my running back. And now, of course, I understand that football is a team game, so I had no problem sacrificing for the team. But when you're out there going through hell week, going through all the practices, you want to kind of see some love on the field as well. But you know, I just kept my mouth shut, just kept on showing up to practice, kept on playing in the games, but I knew deep down that I was not being used right. Now, what I'm about to say next has something to do with the message at the end of this video, but basically this whole time I was saying to myself and telling my parents that the coaching staff did not know how to use me, that there was a bad coaching staff, and that's basically all I was saying my whole sophomore year. Remember that's something important that I'm gonna bring up about the message at the end of this video. But I started every single game my sophomore year at JV, so I was thinking, okay, things are gonna change. You're going into your junior year, you're gonna do big things, because I mean, in the recruiting world, your junior year is everything. And so I was excited to finally be up at the varsity level, you know, just to be able to show people what I could truly do on that field. I started the first game of the season and then was benched for the rest of the season, simply because I could not block as a wide receiver. No, not because I couldn't catch, not because I couldn't run routes, because I couldn't block. Now, I do understand, and I understood then, that blocking is a very crucial part of a wide receiver's job, especially because we were a very run dominant team. However, did we do in-depth blocking drills during practice? No. Did we learn about any techniques about how to block, especially a quick corner? No. The only practicing blocking drills that we did as wide receivers was basically just run at the corner and just try and block them, and if you mess up, well, you mess up. Not how to fix it, not how to do better, no, just if you messed up, you messed up. So how are they expecting me to get better? It's whatever. So it's my junior year and I'm sitting on the bench, and we're like 5 or 6 games into the season, and the starting #1 wide receiver, he gets hurt for like a week or two, which means that I get moved back up into a starting role, which I'm thinking, okay, dope, like I finally get to go prove why I should be starting. However, I was never even given a chance to do that. So the #1 wide receiver that got hurt, he was the Z wide receiver. So the starting X wide receiver, which was my natural position, he switched over to Z, and I moved back into my natural X position. However, what the coaches did had to be one of the most most messed up and just blatant just disrespect to a player moves I've ever seen. All week during practice, every single pass that was supposed to go to the X receiver would get flipped to the Z receiver without question. So basically every single time the first read was always the Z wide receiver. And I mean, we didn't really run that complex of an offense. So basically if the quarterback didn't see you off the first read, he was either just gonna run it or was incomplete. So how do you think that makes me feel? I'm out there with all of my teammates doing the same practices that they're doing, putting in the same work that they're doing. And when I finally get my chance to go out there and just show myself, they take it all out of my hands. They just basically say, we don't even trust you to even, basically you're just there to fill a position. That's basically what I was doing my whole junior year. But you know, I still kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything about it. I was just like, okay, whatever. We'll just see what happens when the game time comes around. But again, remember, this is important. The whole time I was saying my coaches aren't using me right. They don't know how to use me. They hate me or whatever. Like, I just genuinely thought that my coaches did not like me. So basically fast forward into the game, and there was one play that was actually designed to go to me. So basically throughout the game, we were throwing a bunch of swing passes to the slot receiver to set up a stop and go route to the outside receiver, which was me. So basically what my job was when this play was called was that the slot receiver, he would run his swing route, and it was basically just a screen where I would go and block the corner and just move him out of the way. So coach finally calls it to where I fake block, and then I go running up the field, and then the quarterback throws it to me, and I'm open because I'm thinking it's a swing pass. So coach calls it, and we're lined up, and I'm ready to run the play. And all of a sudden, my head coach just starts screaming, no, switch the wide receivers, switch the wide receivers. Like, first off, completely tipping off the defense that something's about to happen, but also taking me out of the play to where basically I'm the decoy again. So you guys can interpret this how you want, but basically that wide receiver, he scored on the play, and I was extremely hurt, and I walked off the field and just threw my helmet. Now you can look at it as me being selfish, but you know what? After all of the work that I put in for those 3 years at that high school, I just wanted to be able to show them that I was not out there just wasting their time, that I truly had talent to go out there and was able to play at a high level. I mean, if they trusted me enough to be a starting wide receiver, then I thought that they would trust me enough to at least just make a play for them. And of course my head coach saw that, and he kicked me out of the game for the rest of the game. I know that some of you guys are going through the same thing where your coaches are not using you right, and I cannot tell you how hurt I was during this moment. All I was trying to do was just be able to show my teammates and my coaches that I had talent enough to be able to make plays for them. I wanted to help the team win, but I just didn't want to be a decoy, basically never being able to show all of the hard work that I'm putting in practice during the games. So the next day we're watching film, and my coach pulls me aside, and he's basically like, you're lucky I don't kick you off the team. Like, what do you think? You just think you're Calvin Johnson? Like, cause my dad, he got me a Calvin Johnson jersey for my birthday, and I would wear it to school a lot because, you know, it's a cool jersey. And he was just like, oh, you just think you're Calvin Johnson? Like, you just think that every pass should be thrown to you? I'm just like, I just want one pass thrown to me. Like, I'm not over here like a diva wide receiver. Basically, if you could just give me like 1 or 2 targets a game, I'll be fine. Remember, I'm starting. I'm not coming off the bench or anything. I'm a starting wide receiver. So basically at this point, my coaches had just beaten into my head and just made me genuinely believe that I was not good enough to even be able to play on the field. I was good enough to start, but not to be able to contribute in any way on the field. And the next week, the starting wide receiver was healthy, which made me a bench player again. And so the coach didn't even have to deal with me. But you know what? Even after that incident, I still showed up to all my practices on time, still went to all the workouts, never really caused my coaches a fuss after that. Like, I mean, I just kept on just being like a modeled player. But again, this whole time I was believing everything that they were saying, and I was saying that these coaches they didn't know how to use me. They were bad coaches. Oh, they don't like me, XYZ. So you know what the definition of insanity is, right? Doing something over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So I'm going into my senior year and I'm thinking, okay, I'm finally the #1 wide receiver. I'm the guy that they're going to be targeting. You know, I'm going to be getting 100 yards a game. You know, like I'm going to be able to show them exactly what I've been able to do this whole time. Did you think that actually happened? Of course it did not. First game of the season, 0 targets, 0 catches. Second game of the season, I actually kind of balled out. I had like 4 catches for around 100 yards and a touchdown. And so I'm thinking, okay, finally, I was able to show my coaches that, you know, I can do this. And this is second game of the season, so we're still early in the season, and they're gonna start targeting me more. So I'm all jacked up. We get into the film room the next day, and my coach in front of everyone basically says, you know what, if these wide receivers don't know how to block, I don't care if you had 100 yards and a touchdown, I will bench you. Basically talking to me in front of the whole team. I just sat there and I was like, what can I do to try and impress you guys? I've done everything from showing up to practices, not even on time, early. I've tried to be a leader on the team. I've tried to be a model in the weight room. Like I've just tried to do everything right, and it seemed like I could do nothing right. And so I'm not gonna bore you with a bunch of details because basically that just happened for the rest of the season. I ended my senior year with 400 yards of receiving and 2 touchdowns. And yes, we were a run dominant team, seeing that the running back that was on the team was the only guy that went Division 1. He went Division 1 AA to the University of Northern Colorado, and dude was a beast. Like, he deserved every single carry that he got. But how is it that he was the second leading wide receiver on the team with 360 yards receiving? And mind you, every single week, the average height of the corner that was going up against me was about 5'6". By my senior year, I was 6'3", 185 pounds. But again, I'm not going to really get into the details because, you know, it's just a bunch of the same old, same old. Now, kind of a shining light in this story is that a Division 3 school in the name of Linfield College actually got in contact with me. If you guys don't know about Linfield College, they're basically one of the best Division 3 schools in the country, just period. Consistently ranking in the top 5 amongst Division 3 schools. But to be honest, you guys, with having to go through the basically mental abuse that I had to go through during those 4 years at Palm Desert High School, I genuinely did not believe that I was a good wide receiver. Even though I got a lot more opportunities to be able to prove my talents at Linfield College, it was just that little thing in the back of my mind that just kept on just making me believe that, oh, I just wasn't a good wide receiver. Oh, you're not supposed to be here. Like, there's wide receivers way better than you that are here. Like, you had the lowest stats of all the freshman wide receiver coming in. Like, you shouldn't be here. And so basically I played 1 year at Linfield College and I couldn't afford to go there anymore. But instead of going to a junior college and trying to get to a Division 1 school, I basically just quit because in my heart of hearts, I believed that I was not good enough to even play at a Division 1 level, let alone make it to the NFL. And now, because this is my 80K special, some of you guys might be wondering, well, why did you start this YouTube channel? Well, I started this channel because I wanted to give you guys, because I know some of you guys are going through the same exact thing, maybe even worse than what I went through, where your coaches are not using you the right way, but you have enough stuff on film to be able to say, hey, I can actually play football. And so that's why I do my subscriber Sundays, and that's why I'm staying consistent with it, because I want to give you guys a platform to where no matter what type of coaching situation you're going through, no matter if there's favoritism on the field, whether they just don't run the right system for you, whatever it is, that you guys can get your highlights onto a bigger platform so that you guys can just get some exposure. And that's why I'm always positive, because I know that every single one of you guys works your tail off to be able to play. I mean, hell week's a real thing. Having to go straight from school to practice to workouts, like, that's a real thing. And I know that you guys work so hard the same way that I did. And so that's why I try and get you guys that like exposure. But here is the message that I want to get across to you guys. So if you guys are unaware, your words have a lot of power. Basically, what you say will manifest in the real world. So what do you think happened from my sophomore year to my senior year, when I was constantly only saying my coaches don't like me, they don't know how to use me, like I'm never gonna be able to get all the numbers that I want to get on the field, I'm never gonna be able to help my teammates? What do you think happened? Exactly that. You see, if I would have just shifted my mindset off of everything that the coaches are doing wrong and actually talked about the things that I wanted to do, saying things like, my coaches love me, they want to give me the ball frequently and often, like, I'm gonna be able to help my team in every single game that I play, I'm gonna be a great team player, like my coaches make plays specifically for me to be able to help the team win. If I would have been saying things like that, I can guarantee you 100% things would have been completely different. But you see, at that time, I was lacking in something called faith. I want to read you guys a scripture that I wish I would have been paying attention to way more during high school. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I guess you could classify me as a Christian, even though I don't really agree with all the things that happen in Christianity. Basically, what I believe is I know that the Bible is real and that my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So you can make of that as you will. But in Matthew chapter 17 verse 20, it says this: for truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, which if you guys don't know, Google what a mustard seed is. It's really tiny. It's like think of like a dice and think of like just one of the dots in there, and you could probably fit like 3 or 4 mustard seeds just in that one dot. So a mustard seed is really small. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, which is a problem in your life, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Now, the biggest mountain for me in high school was my coaching staff. However, you see, I use this verse in reverse. And if you guys don't believe in the Bible, well, this verse actually happened in my life. You see, it says, if you say to this mountain, move from here to there, it will move. Oh, I talked to my problem, all right, except I kept on talking it into a worse and worse situation. Not once did I ever pray for my coaches to use me better. Not once did I ever speak positive affirmations over them and their lives. Not once did I ever try and just do things in a positive way. All I did was talk down on my coaches this whole time. That's what I meant when I said earlier, when your words have power. So if one of my high school coaches actually happens to stumble across this video, I just want to say I've forgiven you for what I felt like you did to me wrong, but I'm also sorry for talking down on you behind your back and never really giving you a chance with my words to prove that you could have been a good coach. coach. And so I actually truly am sorry for that, and I actually hold no resentment in my heart anymore, because I know that wasn't you doing that. That was me speaking that over your life. And so I'm sorry that that had to happen. So I know that a lot of you guys are going through the same thing. I know that a lot of you guys are just struggling to get off the bench, or to, maybe you're starting but you're just trying to get more exposure. You're trying to have your coaches utilize you more. And so I know that some of you guys are going through this. But instead of always talking down on your coaches, saying that they don't know how to use you, that they don't like you, start saying what you actually want for your life. Start constantly saying, you know what, my coaches know exactly how to use me. My coaches, they love me. They love to get me and make specific plays for me so that I can go out there and shine on the football field on game day. And I know that is not easy to do, because I know that some of you guys are going through the same things that I went through, and some of you guys are even going through worse things. I know that politics in sports is a very real thing, but I mean, you've already tried the talking bad about your coaches, and you kind of see where it's going. So don't make the same mistake that I did, and talk just nice about your coaches. Say the things that you actually want to have happen in your life. Speak those into existence. And when you start to say it enough, you'll start to actually believe it. And another word for belief is faith. But to wrap up this video, that is basically the breakdown as to why I quit playing football. And you know, God just couldn't leave me out there to dry after I quit playing football, because it says in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And like I said, I have a pretty hopeful future on this platform called YouTube. Thanks to every single last one of you guys. Again, I just want to say thank you again, because we hit 80,000 subscribers. Like, I just cannot express the amount of love and just appreciation that I have for every single last one of you guys. So I'm happy that I was able to make this video for you guys, but please hear what I said and take notice of it and apply it to your life. Because just like you, I know what it feels like to have that burning passion inside of you. Ever since I was a kid, the only thing that I had on my mind was, I'm going to play in the NFL. I'm going to play in the NFL. I'm going to play in the NFL. I mean, my second cousin is Shannon Sharpe and Sterling Sharpe, so I knew that somewhere in the Sharpe bloodline, they've already made it to the NFL. So that they could do it, I knew I could do it. But I let other people talk me out of my dream. Don't ever let anyone talk you out of your dream. And that's why you need to say the things that you want to have happen in your life all the time. So with that all being said, I hope that you guys all enjoyed this video. Again, thank you guys for 80K. This is the best birthday present that I could have asked for. I hope that you guys all have a blessed rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.
That's what I thought you said. Now let me offer this as a rebuttal.